Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Motorsport Manager. And it's going to be the fifth race of the season. And unfortunately, the last couple races, we haven't done quite as well as I would have hoped. So hopefully we can turn things around for the next track, which we're going to have cloudy on both practice and race day, so there may be some rain. Top speed is crucial, low speed corners are crucial, and acceleration is useful. So let's go ahead and take a look at our inbox really quickly here. So, okay, we're going to have to repair our cars. Okay, we've got scouting report on a driver. Ooh, not bad. That might be worth picking up in the future here. Yeah, no actual driver traits though. That's the first driver I think I've seen with absolutely nothing. And we also have another driver here. Oh, again, not a bad driver. Full up potential. Although these are drivers that I think both of them had... both of them had... are on teams. As a matter of fact, this guy has a technically negative trait. Because... yeah, they just want money. So they're looking for more contracts. They don't care if they win or not. They just want money. Alright, well, now that we've done that, we're going to have to repair the cars. But should we design parts? Now, right now, we don't have a lot of money. And part of that is because we haven't been hitting our sponsorship deal. Speaking of sponsors, we will be getting a new sponsor soon. And that would be for our 12th or above sponsor. Okay, well, designing parts. Right now, as far as our team goes, we're 8th in handling, 9th in deceleration. We are 7th in acceleration and 7th in top speed. So the fact that top speed is going to be important for the next race, as well as acceleration, we might do okay for this race. But I think I would like to design, because there's kind of a gap in between our two cars in the suspension. I would like to design a suspension. So, and that's like the second most affordable thing that we can grab. Let's grab that, and let's see what we've got. So we've got risk level things I'm not really a big fan of. So why don't we just take this one? So right now, if we didn't add any attributes, we'd be at 183, which honestly would be a pretty dramatic improvement. Or we could go up to 203. We wouldn't have a lot of room for improvement, although we wouldn't have that much room for improvement anyway. And yeah, we'll get that up to 203. That'd be pretty dramatic improvements there. And it cost us 800,000, so that's going to put us into the negative again. And we'll get it done before the race, so we might actually be able to use it for the race as well. So let's go ahead and build that part and confirm. So hopefully this will improve our handling overall, because right now, as I said, we're ranked 8th. Now, deceleration, I think we already have the parts. We just need to improve them. So I'll be working on that. But for now, let's just move on to getting our cars repaired. And now we can start improving our parts. All right, so let's go through reliability here. So mostly, I would say we're pretty good on reliability. So right now, we're working to improve brakes. And I think we need to continue with that. But I'd also like to improve our parts overall. So gearbox, we're working to improve that one. That's good. We're working to improve handling. That actually isn't important anymore. Because we'll be getting a new set of suspension here. So I think what I'd like to do is improve our brakes instead. And then as far as reliability, we've got our engine. I would like to max out our engines. That way we can really flog them in the race. But let's see, of the parts that we're currently using, where are we on reliability? So we're improving these brakes. That's good. 71 or 72% here. That is good as well. Let's just go through. Engine. Okay. Gearbox. 74, 76. It looks like suspension is really... oh, you know what? Let's stop improving that reliability because there's no point in doing that. And instead, we'll work on our other set of brakes here. because I think that's the next lowest thing that we have. And what I'd like to do is, rather than work on one thing or the other, I'm actually going to put it like 50-50 until we get the parts designed. And then I'm probably going to go more towards the reliability, because we're going to need to get that new set of suspension up as reliable as we possibly can. But I think this is a good idea. This way we're getting these parts improved more. Now, we are going to hit the max of our gearbox here eventually, and the engine as well. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But in any case, let's go ahead and continue now. We're going to have the World Motorsport Championship event come in. All right. So I'm going to have to go back to improve parts. Sometimes you have to load back in. All right, so we're getting there on improving the parts where we need them. We're almost done designing that one part. We'll have that in a couple days. All right, the engine's up to 90%. Again, I'd like to max that out if I could. It's possible we'll build another engine, although I don't know if we will or not. I probably will prioritize a gearbox over the engine because we are a little bit behind on that. Overall, though, I don't know gearbox-wise. We're in 7th. So I'm not sure if that's the right thing to focus on right now. But definitely, as far as improving parts go, we have a lot of room to improve these brakes, which is why I'm focusing a little bit more towards that improving parts, because that's right now what our limitation is improving our parts. Why don't we cancel that and work on our other set of suspension? We don't yet have the good suspension out yet, but all right, let's go ahead and continue till we get that part designed, and then we'll go full reliability improvements. All right, we got that. One thing I didn't really consider is improving parts that would help us for the race. I mean, technically, we are already doing that with the gearbox and the engine, and then brakes are just something that we're trying to improve to get them up higher. All right, so let's continue here. So we have that part designed. All right. So we have our new suspension. As much as I could design another part here, I'm going to hold off just for money's sake. And let us go to improving those parts again. So I think at this point, our brakes are getting there. Engine we're currently improving. Gearbox isn't quite as reliable as it should be. So let's go ahead and cancel this brake, and we will improve reliability of this gearbox. And then the suspension I'll back off, and we'll start improving this. And then I will have this go full on reliability. And let's see if we can get up that gearbox as high up as we can in the number of days we have left. It's saying we won't get it done until after the race, but I'm hoping we'll be okay. When's our next voting going to happen? And what are we voting on? So we'll be voting on new tires, and that will be in 2 weeks. So actually, that might come up before the race happens. All right, well, in any case, let's go ahead and continue here. I'll probably pause after a few days here on my own. Let's pause after we get the scouting done. Okay. Scouting done. We have some things in the mailbox. Okay. All right. Something going on with another team's driver and having some falling out with their mechanics. Okay, the next vote. Let's go ahead and take a look at this so we know what we're voting on. So the European Racing Series tires are currently supplied by Italian manufacturer Brutus. Okay. Next week, however, the team bosses will be, okay, durable American tires. Okay. Yeah, I think didn't we already do a vote on this last year? Or maybe I'm doing 2 series at once, but I remember doing a vote on this manufacturer before. So we're switching from an Italian-made tire that has better performance to an American-made tire that's more durable. So it's whichever way you want to go with that. We've got a scouting report finished. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Oh, again, not a bad driver here, and she's not employed. Might not be a bad driver to pick up. She's very marketable. Downside is her feedback. Her feedback is terrible, so she'd actually be really good as a secondary driver and then have a reserve driver that has better feedback than her on a team. I'm not going to pick her up yet, but I'm not familiar with that flag, so I don't know what nation that is. All right, let's go to our car and take a look at the parts. So we've gone up to 57% here. We're into the 80% range with some of our other parts. So I'm going to back off on these brakes and start working on these brakes instead maybe. But let's just go through again, look at what parts we have and what we could be improving. So right now, we are not working on improving this suspension, and that's actually one of the things that we're falling kind of behind on. So let's stop improving this gearbox and start improving the suspension. And then it's probably time to move on to the wings because we haven't gotten them reliable yet. But we're getting into that realm where we're getting reliable enough. It's just mostly getting the new parts that we have up in reliability. And I think we're pretty much good to go for the meantime. So again, I'm going to go for a few days and probably pause. That's probably good now. So, yeah, you know what? We can keep going with this until we get to race day. All right, so actually the politics thing we'll do first. So we have more scouting reports. Got a stylish little mustache and goatee there, but unfortunately not much better besides that. There is another one of those drivers that would pay me to have him race. He's got a famous father, but he kind of is a little bit of a liability on the first lap, big time. I mean, that's a huge penalty, and he's not that good of a driver anyway, so yeah, that's real bad. Okay, new vote started. Let's go ahead and go to that. I am going to vote for it, but I don't know. I don't really... it's saying that this will benefit us, so I'm going to vote for it, but I have a feeling it's not going to pass because, well, it could. We'll see. So, vote for, vote against, keep going. I mean, I guess I could skip to the end here, but I think it's more dramatic to see it happen this way. All right, so it's leaning towards against. Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to go against now. There it goes. All right, no change. No big deal. Not overly worried about it. Okay, let's go to our parts and see how they're doing. Oh, I guess we might as well read this. Okay, so no changes for next year. All right. Improved parts. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel the improvement of the suspension. And I'll instead start improving wing reliability, because I think that's the only thing we have that's actually below 80% at this point. So we'll do that, and I guess I'll cancel this, and we'll do that. All right, well, let's go ahead and continue. Looks like I might just get to 70% on this new part before we have to travel. All right, so it's time to fit our parts and all that. So let's see where we got in reliability and all that. All right, so first things first, brakes, we have those supplied, and Boris is running the better brakes. As far as engine, we're pretty good. As far as gearbox, we're good as well. And we do have the new suspension. So I'm going to go ahead and fit. Okay, so we're still not going to be able to fit Boris with the best suspension. So what we'll do instead was do that. So we've got Boris with a definite upgrade to his suspension. And then we're going to be fitting this suspension for Mustafa. So that should be good. Otherwise, we're pretty much good to go. Let's go ahead and take a look at our cars overall now. So we're now in 7th place for our handling. And it's really our braking that we're really far behind. Otherwise, we're more or less across the board in 7th. So we can really improve the braking, which honestly, I think we have the parts to do that. We just need to start improving them and getting them up to... Matter of fact, I think I'm happy to do that now. Just getting them up higher towards their overall potential. All right, well, I think we're pretty much good to go for the race day, so let's continue here. Now, this is where I'm really not sure what to do as far as our sponsorship goes. I went with 6th or above in the last 2 races, and we failed. And I have faith that we'll be able to get 6th or above, but we tend not to do as well on these high-speed tracks. And as a result, I think I'm going to go the safe route here because the sponsorship bonus is better than nothing. And we could have gotten pretty much $500,000 if I had done that in the last 2 races rather than going for the more risky 6th or above. So until we prove that we can actually achieve 6th or above, I'm not going to go with that bonus. All right, so we already set up our parts. Let's go ahead and go on to the race. And here's hoping we have a good race. I mean, we did improve the cars quite a bit, especially in handling. Now, that's not going to necessarily help for this track, but it evens us up out as a team, in my opinion. All right, well, Shen has actually turned out to be a better feedback driver, which is actually good because she's the one that we're sending around on these practices, so she'll help us set up the cars better. And the more she improves there, the happier I'll be with her as a reserve driver. Okay, so the car setup, we'll start with Shen here. Technically Boris's car. All right, so downforce, we're looking like we need a little bit more. Now, it did say that low-speed corners was important, so we'll try and go a little bit heavy on that. And it's hard to say, but that might be good. Now, for handling, I always forget which way, yeah, we need to go hard here on the suspension. I'm going to take it as far out as it will go because that looks like it's roughly in the middle. Now we're going to need a lot longer gear ratios, which I might be able to back off the suspension a little bit, as a matter of fact. And let us go... I'll go here for now, but I don't know if that's quite right. I think that's going to be the initial setup. That might take it a little bit too far. Let's just try that. We'll tweak it more as we go. Now, this track should be a high-speed track. I kind of want to see, though, where the temperature and the tires are going to be. So I'm going to put them on softs just to see that. Overall temperature, 64 degrees. That's not overly hot, but it's not overly cool either. So I think that's good to go. And then over here... downforce, we actually need a little bit less, it looks like. So I'm just going to back this off very slightly. I think that's a good first try. And then, again, we're going to have to stiffen up the suspension quite a bit here. That looks good to me. And then top speed. This guy doesn't have quite the same power, so we're going to have to do that. And then I might... do that. All right, so that's going to be our initial attempt with his car, but I don't know how well that's going to do. And we're going to go on soft tires again. I think that's a nice neutral tire to try out here. In any case, let's go ahead and continue here. And we'll take the practice. All right. Let's see what we can do here. Now, again, this is yet another track that I don't know we're going to have that great of a performance. So I think it was okay to go with a more conservative sponsorship deal. All right, here we go. So mostly I'm going to try and pay attention to the temperature in the tires here. See if it gets warm just on its own with a neutral stance. And hopefully we'll also get feedback. Okay, well, that's good to see already. Handling is good. I'm not getting any speed out on the straights. Okay, I kind of expected to see that kind of thing. Alright, let's see what we hear back from Mustafa. Oh, good. She got the fastest lap. More downforce. Okay. So we're not quite right there. Let's make the handling a bit stiffer. Okay, so I don't know if we've heard anything good about her car yet. Fortunately, we're kind of stuck behind slow pokes at times. That's kind of one of the reasons why I think we perform so badly in practice is we never really get good laps because, okay, we're good on gear ratios. That's good news. All right, not good there. I could have swore, though, she said she didn't like it. A little bit confused by that. All right, we should be pitting after this, I think. Yeah, here we go. I don't know how much time we'll have. This is a track that takes a little bit more time to get around than other tracks. And because they were set out on a minimum of 3 laps. Now, our tire temps, it looks like we're actually keeping even, if not dropping off a little bit in temperature, but not too much that I think I'm going to have to really worry. This is actually one of those situations where I'm really happy with the way the temperature is in the tires. Because it allows me room to push if I want to, but also if I were to conserve, it wouldn't cool off too fast. All right, so we're an okay, great. That's actually really fantastic. So much so that depending on what the percentage says or where we get indications here, I might just take it. Although it looks like maybe going this way a little bit would be good. All right, hold on. Let me try and balance this. So let's say we go slightly stiffer here, because that looks like the right way to go. And then we try and balance it with tire pressure, so we can bring this sucker back on that grate line. Yeah, it looks like that's going to do it. All right, hopefully that improves it. If it doesn't, then we can always bring it back. It's not that hard to figure out. Downforce, I'm not sure which way to take it, so I'm just going to leave it as is. But 81% is not really bad. I'll take it. So we'll send you out. Okay, poor, great, okay. So again, not bad. I expect it to be less than 81%, but so downforce, we just need a little bit more. So let's give it to him. So just a little bit more downforce. Oh, actually, I'm going the wrong direction. There we go. That's probably good. And then there's not a whole lot I can do about top speed, though. And that is actually going to probably make things a little bit worse. I mean, we can balance it back like this. But that's going to be taking us in the wrong direction. So we might actually be worse off with this downforce setup. But at least we get the handling back to where it was. So, you know, we'll see. If it's better than 78%, then that's good. Otherwise, obviously not. And we'll keep you out on the same tires. All right, out you go. We're going to have a little under 4 minutes with Shen. And we're down in 19th and 20th in the practice, so that's not really good news. Hopefully we can make it around the track here. And not have anybody block us and slow us down. So we get a nice, fast practice, couple practice laps in here. See, the problem is we catch up to these guys so quick because I don't know what's going on. They're like really slow poking it. And it makes it kind of hard for us to do all that well because we get stuck behind these guys blocking the way. All right, I didn't mess with that. All right, he loves the handling. We already knew that. I mean, it does give us an indication of which way to take it, but I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so he's still unhappy with the downforce situation. All right, so the practice is ending. All right, we're still good there. All right. So we're on 79% and 81%. So let's see if we improve that at all. All right, so practice, we were in 18th and 20th. I don't expect that to really improve all that much. And I mean, I don't know. This is one of those races. I don't know how well we're going to do. All right, let's go to race day. Now, we should be close to the middle of the pack now because of our previous poor performances. All right, so let's get our bonuses here. So we're going to go with race trim and then the risk taker for Mustafa. And then over here, we're going to go with the race trim and the pit stop refueling guru. Okay, now that we've got that, let's go to the car setup. So we're still on okay, great here, and then we're on okay, great, good. So we've actually improved him quite a bit. So there's actually nothing to change here, in my opinion. This is perfect, in my opinion. I mean, maybe we could help the downforce a little bit, but not without compromising other things. Let's just go straight to our tire choice. And, you know, with Mustafa, I think starting on Super Softs is probably fine. And we'll go from there. Okay, now him. It looks like we made things worse, but I actually do not remember. Oh, yeah, it was handling. So I took the handling in the wrong direction. It looks like. So let's just bring that handling back to where it was, and we're not going to worry about trying to improve it beyond the 81% that we had before. So we'll get the handling back to the performance we got out of it before without really compromising our speed balance or anything else. And we did improve the downforce, I believe, with this car. So that's good to see. Now, this car we're going to put on just softs and confirm. All right, well, I think we're pretty much good to go for the race. So I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in the video here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.